What is up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Talking Buffalo, your weekday daily driver for Buffalo Sports Talk and more. My name is Patrick Moran. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, for listening, however you are consuming this podcast. I appreciate you guys very, very much. Big shout out to our sponsor for today's show, as always, the law office of William Mattar. Heard in a car, call William Mattar, 444-4444. Call William Mattar today to get the compensation that you deserve. This is the midweek Wednesday podcast. Typically, this spot is reserved for my good buddy over at SB Nation, Matt Warren. However, Rich Warren the 7th is busy this week, man. He's got a lot of stuff going on, covering free agency, the Bills, so just couldn't work this out for today. On the video side, we're actually live late, approaching the 10 p.m. hour here on Tuesday night. The Buffalo Sabres just smacked the San Jose Sharks. They're never going to fucking lose a game again. I'm joined for a second time in 3 days.
Joe Mania 8, baby. Joe Mania 8.
Joe Mania 8. What are you opening a bottle of wine? What the hell is that?
No, it's a bottle of beer. I usually only have cans, but here's for the people. Oh, activate the comments, by the way, so I can see Tooch and everyone. I have a 4-barrel. It's from Oma Gang blend. It's a blend of Belgian style ales aged in bourbon barrels and wine casks. 11.5% alcohol. It was on sale. On sale at Wegmans, this is in Westchester, for $7 for a 4-pack. So this either is going to be terrible because it's been on the shelf for too long, or it's going to be terrible because no one wanted to buy it, and that's why it was $7-8. So, cheers, buddy. We got a busy weekend coming up, and I know you're stressed, ugly, and all that sort of stuff.
Let me kind of lay it out for the regulars who are listening to the show, or if you catch it on demand live or whatever. We're recording this late Tuesday. We're going to spend time talking about the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have barely tampered. I'm not too happy about that. Could be leading to something big, though. We're going to get into that. Some Trey Hendrickson stuff. Some Max Crosby major shit going down here on Tuesday night. Does it tie into the Bills? It might. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the Buffalo Sabres, who just literally now finished beating the San Jose Sharks. The Sabres 8-0 since the Olympic break. This team is just freaking unbelievable. So we're going to get to all that. Who the hell knows what else going on today? Don't really have much notes. Quick programming note. So this is our Wednesday podcast, even though we're recording this on the video side late Tuesday. I'm traveling Wednesday all day to Florida. I'm either going to try to knock out a podcast early in the morning before I venture to Florida, or I might have to do something independent on how things go late Wednesday night from Florida. Nothing's changing in terms of the podcast. I'm still going to have a show, I think, every night, with the exception of maybe next Sunday night. We'll see how all that plays out.
Well, I'm not going to be here. I've already made plans.
I already know that.
I'm already out.
You already got plans. So I would just say for everyone who's a regular to the show, just stay tuned. You can expect a show as normal every day. The difference is I'm just going to be recording at different times. If you listen to the show, it might sound a little different because, again, I'm going to be in Florida for the next week after this episode here today. Anyway, I'll tell you what. The Sabres are fun. Jack Quinn has a hat trick. Well, let's push them aside for just a few minutes here. Let's start with some Bills talk. This was an uneventful day for the Bills, which I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little bit surprised about. I didn't expect much on day one, and I don't blame the Bills for not doing much on day one. Some of those contracts that were handed out on that first day were just ludicrous. I went into day 2 here expecting them to sign some guys on defense, not necessarily, $10, $15 million type deals per season, but I expected them to do something. And as we're recording this at 9:47 p.m., they haven't. No external signings today. They did rework Dawson Knox's contract, so he got a new 3-year deal. Still don't know the terms and exactly how much they're going to be saving against the cap. But Dawson Knox is staying. Tyler Bass is staying. He took a pay cut. But again, nothing from the outside. Let's start with the actual biggest news that is kind of rocking the NFL and social media pretty much as we're recording this right now. Max Crosby traded to the Baltimore Ravens. That trade is no more. He failed the physical, apparently. At least that's what Baltimore's saying. They've called the trade off. 2 first-round picks. That kind of fucks both these teams up. I mean, they've spent, Baltimore lost a lot of free agents because they were making room for Crosby's contract. The Raiders have spent a lot of money, and they still got the money, too, thinking that, they had $30 million off the books, and they don't anymore. This might tie into the Bills, and I'll get there. But first, your thoughts. You see a trade of this magnitude, and then to see it be, squashed right now is kind of stunning.
Yeah, we're doing this in real time because I think it broke like an hour and a half ago as we recorded this. And there's already been stuff on the internet or a couple of reporters. I think it was even Jordan Schultz said something along the lines. He got 2 calls from 2 GMs who are like, I think they purposely failed Crosby so they can make a run at someone else possibly. So, who knows? But you're right. It's a huge deal. And it's I cannot recall this happening. I was gonna say the Antonio Brown trade when he was a Bill for 3 hours, and then it would.
Mm-hmm.
But this is way longer. This happened last week, and now I don't know what's gonna go. I'll ask you this though. You said on Sunday with me because I remember, that you did not want to give up 2 firsts for Crosby. You were not a fan of that deal. How do you feel now that you've seen what the Bills have done in free agency? Like, are you now like a little bit more edgy? Like, yo, maybe question. That's why I'm asking it. So answer it, you punk.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I didn't think he was worth 2 first-round picks before, or at least I was leaning that he wasn't worth 2 first-round picks before. I probably would say that even less now if there is any kind of issue with the knee. However, in fairness to me, part of the reason I said no was I had an expectation that the Bills were going to and they still might, but kind of like nickel and dime a little bit with free agency on defense, like get 3-4 bodies. I said doing that and still keeping both your first-round picks is better than Max Crosby. However, we're 2 days into tampering, and there's players out there, and they'll fill some roles, they'll fill some needs, some depth. But the guys that I kind of had my eyes set on, reasonable targets too, nothing crazy, most of them are gone now. So that might make me change my mind, and I'll add to it. So the reports were when Baltimore traded for him that the 2 teams that were also in on Max Crosby were the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills. There's already reports here late on Tuesday night that, according to sources from insiders, and I don't remember who they are off the top of my head, again, this is happening in real time, but word is that Dallas is not interested in this trade anymore. They signed Rashawn Gary after that, and they're moving on. The Buffalo Bills, meanwhile, are sitting on, they haven't done anything yet. We still will talk about Trey Hendrickson. An hour and a half ago, Trey Hendrickson, he's part of the cover, the thumbnail on this podcast. I was getting ready to talk about him, and we still will, but the Bills have the ability now to do something like this. I wonder, the price is going to go down. It's not going to be 2 first-round picks anymore. I can tell you that right now. I bet anything on that. I wonder if the Bills get back into this. If they were interested and the reports are accurate out there, Dallas has moved on. Baltimore's obviously not doing it. Do you think that Brandon Beane is still interested in this? I mean, we don't know because we don't know the medicals, but man, I don't know. Should he be interested?
I cannot see them giving up. I know you said 2 firsts, but
Sure.
let's just say it's a first and like a third rounder. We'll just say for shits and giggles, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see that. Like, I can't see him. And I don't want to sit here and go, they haven't done anything. Like, you have to count the Moore trade. I mean, I know that happened last week, but like, that's a part of it. So I know you got smoke coming out of your ears, or you're about to. I'm not there yet, because they did get more, and I am counting that as like I don't know, it was a trade, but it's a part of the offseason, which I thought was a big deal.
Sure.
You could discuss whether they overpaid, or, because you see other deals happening, you're like, but I don't think he would do that at all. I can't see him.
What about if it becomes a first? Matt in the live chat says, would you trade our first rounder this year for Crosby and just call it a day? I would.
I would, yes. Yes, I would. I don't think they would. But how old's Crosby again? 32? It's 28. He's
29.
29. Okay, so he has had some injury issues, as you said. He's also got this fucking new thing with the injury, so that's a big deal. But yeah, I mean, look, I had talked about this before. It was funny. I was looking up the guy from the Bengals. His name escapes me. The defense.
Trey Hendrickson.
Yes, I was looking up his career, his numbers, and his first 3 years of the league, he was with the Saints. He was a nobody. He had like 2-3 sacks every year. And like, this is what I've been, I talked about this on the last podcast on Joe Mania 7, that like, I am all about signing or trading for defensive end linemen than drafting them, because I think it takes too long at times for them to become what they're supposed to be. And I would do that, because obviously I don't give a shit. Like, I would bet my house right now that at number one, the first pick for the Buffalo Bills and the whatever the fuck we're in, it's going to be a defensive lineman at some point. It's going to be that in the first round. So great, you're going to get one, and then you got to wait like 2-3 years maybe for them to be like great, or 1 to 2 years. Get the sure thing. It's a first. Do it if you can afford it, and all the cap bullshit. And I would do that. Now, do I think he'll do it? I don't think so, but
it's a fair question, but it's so hard, Joe, because we don't know. We have no idea. Did Baltimore just try to get out of this trade? Is the knee legitimately bad? Is that the opinion of one doctor, and other doctors will be like the knee is fine, or it's going to be fine? It's tough to know without the medical. Man, the guy's such a great player, of course. But I don't know, man. I do find it interesting that the Bills were, again, one of 3 reported teams that were in on Max Crosby before all this. So I just wondering if Dallas is out, Baltimore's definitely out. I wonder if the Bills get back in. You mentioned that you were looking up Trey Hendrickson earlier. That's what I was originally wanting to talk about here, because Ryan Talbot put out a report today that the Bills were interested in Trey Hendrickson, that I don't know all the particulars to what extent, but that caught fire. It's all over the internet now.
Rumors sell, baby.
Couple retweets. Yeah, it does. Couple retweets by a couple outlets, and bam, hundreds of thousands of people are seeing that. So Trey Hendrickson is being linked to the Buffalo Bills. Man, it's tough, because I really wanted to have this conversation, but here's where I involve Max Crosby in it, Joe, is I just get this feeling by the time people listen to this, like if you're having this at lunch hour tomorrow, if you're listening to this, Hendrickson might be a Baltimore Raven. So doesn't it certainly feel like, hey, we could go sign Trey Hendrickson, keep those 2 first-round picks, give him a 2-3 year incentive-laden deal, give him his money, and it's kind of like, did the Max Crosby thing fuck the Bills, I guess, is what I'm getting at, if you wanted Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, it might, but it also, you have to think, if they get him and Crosby goes back, and let's just say Crosby gets traded to...
He's getting traded somewhere.
Yeah, you're right, but let's just say he gets traded to a team, and I don't know, the Texans, we'll just say, for shits and giggles sakes.
Sure.
then that's going to be worse because like the Baltimore, who's a team you have to worry about. The Raiders you don't got to worry about for another like 2-3 years. Like they're fucking obliterated. But yeah, that could hurt them as well if they don't get on any of those guys and they stick in the conference, then you have to worry about it. But I think it's definitely something that that it's going to be interesting to go forward. And it's intriguing. I mean, look, the NFL's a 24/7 cycle. Like I free agency this time period, like I always give everyone shit about the combine and OTAs. That's all garbage. I will definitely, I got an IV to Twitter with refreshing constantly with, seeing what they're doing. I'm more interested in that than freaking Connor McGovern making pizzas and giving it to your buddies over on One Bills Live.
That was a cool gesture.
Oh yeah,
Shut up. That was
my guys getting pizza. My guys, you're just jealous because you weren't there. You wish you were there.
I would like some Connor McGovern pizza, man.
Why don't you add him? Why don't you look? You're boys with Eric Wood. He's one of your guys allegedly. Why don't you go to Eric Wood and be like, yo, what if we get Imperial Pizza and Connor McGovern together as one, and then you could be the conduit to that. You could finally you be like the chicken wing pizza maker of Buffalo that you've always wanted to be.
Knock it off. I want to get back to Trey Hendrickson. Let's, for the sake of this discussion, and again, I fear approaching it this way because this could happen in a matter of hours. But let's just, for shits and giggles, say the Ravens weren't interested in him, okay? Let's just say they go in another direction. It's not Crosby and it's not Trey Hendrickson for whatever reason, if they didn't do that. And he is on the Bills' radar. It's a huge risk for Brandon Beane. It's one of those huge risk, huge reward type of deals in every sense. Surely would be the biggest risk he took since Von Miller. Trey Hendrickson's 31 years old. He's going to be 32 in December. Only played 7 games last year. He had a back injury in week 6, which kind of turned into a core muscle surgery deal by December, like hip and pelvic issues. 4 sacks in 7 games. But he's a sack machine, though, when healthy. Before that, the 2 seasons before that, 17 and a half sacks each, 2023, 2024. He's also had like a 13 and a half and a 14 sack season. This guy's one of the best players, pass rushers in the NFL right now. But the age, the injury, it's a big risk. I don't know. What would you say if the Bills did sign him? What would be your reaction to it? I don't even know if he'd be a great fit in this defense. I'm assuming he is because there's reported Bills interest.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about how he would be. Like, would he play like the edge, like outside linebacker standing up? He does look a little smallish. Like he looks kind of like slender, like an outside linebacker type, who would be like a standing, like Cornelius Bennett type guy or whatever, or Von Miller in Denver with Wade Phillips. It is a risk. I as I told you before, I am all about signing defensive linemen when if they're coming into their own and they're off their rookie deal. I am scared, like, if you're in your 30s and, part of it is it the Von Miller a little bit, like, he gets hurt and he's done. Now, if Von Miller stays healthy, who knows what happens? But, when you hit 30, you do tend to go down as a defensive lineman. All that wear and tear, things along those lines, like you just do. Like Mario Williams is a guy I think of a little bit, like story time, like who was great. Like he hit his 30s and he was dead and it was over. It happens. Now maybe he'll be Bruce Smith and last until he's like 100 years old or whatever. It is a risk. And, I do think as it stands right now, I'm very, me, Pat. I have talked about offensive doom. I want 75 wide receivers. I want to score 600 points. I don't care about the defense. Give me like 2 or 3 guys. As we stand here right now, I'm a little concerned about it. Now, again, it's still early. We got the draft. We got trades. We got all this rigmarole. It's still happening. But if you're asking me to give you a hot take on what the fuck, it's March 10th today. Like, yeah, I'm scared a little bit. Like, they need to add some guys. there as soon as possible that can play and not just, hey, you know, we're gonna wait it out and then we're gonna draft some guys. Like, good luck with that with a new defensive scheme, a new philosophy, because I've seen it when the scheme changes, like it's going to, there are growing pains.
They got to get an impact player, man. They have to get an impactful pass rusher. They don't have one. They don't have one. Jay Glazer, let me read a couple up-to-the-moment tweets as we're recording this live late Tuesday. Jay Glazer tweeted, teams around the NFL are definitely shocked, to say the least, of the Ravens backing out, and a few teams who were previously interested already committed their money elsewhere, so they can't jump in now. Bad all around. To that point, I would say, well, the Buffalo Bills were reportedly interested, and they haven't spent shit. So I don't think the Bills, you could count on that. Max Crosby's agent, literally a minute ago, just said, Max continues to be on track in his recovery, and if anything is ahead of schedule, according to his surgeon, Dr. Neil, whoever. Max remains on track to return during the offseason program and will undoubtedly return as a dominant game wrecker he has been these past 7 seasons. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck to make of any of this right now. It's just interesting to me because it directly could affect the Buffalo Bills. Do the Bills jump in and try to buy low on Max Crosby? Were the Bills not spending money these first 2 days because they wanted their crack at Trey Hendrickson? And was that something that could have happened, but now that's going to die because he's probably going to end up with Baltimore? It's fascinating shit to me, and I don't like it because they're probably not going to end up with either guy.
Yeah, I mean, they might not end up with either guy, but did you really expect them to end up with either guy before this offseason started? Like, I didn't.
I thought there was a chance. I think Brandon Beane knows that he's got to do something really significant. And I know DJ Moore was a significant type trade, but that's not enough. And I don't know, man. It's more the Trey Hendrickson thing to me than the Max Crosby thing, because I still don't. The Bills already gave up their second round pick. If the Bills trade for Max Crosby, no one's saying this because they're forgetting about the Bills already traded for DJ Moore. Even if it is just the first this year and a third next year or second next year, you're going to tell me that Brandon Beane's going to go into a draft not drafting until fucking pick 91 because they won't have a first or second? That would be very ballsy, borderline crazy for Brandon Beane.
Yeah. Am I allowed to commandeer the? Yeah, I agree. Can I commandeer the Bills take for 1 second? Can you just get to your rant? I know you want to rant. I know you're not happy right now, and that's not because you're just going to Florida and you're petrified that you might have to have like a Mrs. Doubtfire moment where something happens with the Bills. They draft someone or trade for someone, and you have to go in the other room and dress as someone else so you can do a quick podcast and run back out and forth. I know you're pissed off that they haven't been active. Give me the fucking rant. We're 23 minutes in. We're talking about Max Crosby.
Well, because that could have been a game. It could potentially be a game changer. Well, I'm trying to give. All right, so here's the thing. I'm trying to give Brandon Beane a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, even though I don't think he deserves shit. But I'm trying to give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt because I think maybe he's putting his eggs in the Trey Hendrickson basket. Let me say this. If we wake up on Wednesday or sometime Wednesday or Thursday and they end up with Hendrickson, or if they end up with Crosby, or if they trade for Jonathan Greenard or a really good edge, I will sound like an idiot. And I'll be the first to apologize. I'll be like, well, he was waiting on the big move. He didn't give a shit about the little smaller things. He was waiting for the big thing, the big fish. But right now, where we're at, again, day one, I didn't give a shit. I was hopeful. I was like, oh, man, it'd be nice to sign a $15 million linebacker or safety. Probably not going to happen, and that's okay. But now you get to day two, and there's a list of guys who are extremely fucking reasonable, and this team needs linebackers. This team needs a safety, and you're just watching these linebackers fly off the board in day two for reasonable contracts, too. Leo Chenal, people, Andy, your kid probably is one of the first sentences is ever going to come out of his fucking mouth is going to be Leo Chenal. Everybody knows he was a great fit for the Buffalo Bills. Everybody. And then you see him go to Washington here on Tuesday night. And then you look at the contract, 3 years, $24.75 million, which is probably even less than that. That's the bloated number. So you're telling me he's getting about $8 million a year? The Bills weren't willing to pay that because they got Terrell Bernard, and they're stuck with Terrell Bernard because Brandon Beane gave him a fucking extension last year, so now they're stuck with him. I guess you may as well at least pencil in Dorian Williams to be started because he's cheap and he's still under a rookie contract. And you watch Leo Chenal go to the Washington Commanders for $8 million a year. The other guy was Caden Ellis. Again, these aren't $15 million a year guys. Caden Ellis, very good linebacker, would have been a perfect fit for this defense. He goes to the Saints. Who the fuck are the Saints? David Edwards. The Saints probably got less money than the Bills, but they could sign Caden Ellis. They could sign David Edwards. They could sign Travis Etienne. They're going out. They're trying to make moves. And they got a young shithole quarterback. And they're trying to build around this guy with good players. And we're sitting here talking about fucking Dawson Knox and Tyler Bass taking pay cuts on day 2 of tampering so that the Bills can get closer to being under the cap. A cap, by the way, where they're eating like $26 million in dead cap money because they're paying Matt Milano $11 million to go somewhere else, and Joey Bosa $7 million to go somewhere else. Larry Ogunjobi, one of the worst free agent contracts in Bills history. Almost $3 million in dead cap money for him to go somewhere else. A.J. Ebenesa, DaQuan Jones, these void year dead cap money. And the Bills ain't signing nobody. Meanwhile, these linebackers are flying off the board all over the place. All over the place. They may as well just re-sign Shaq Thompson at this point. I tweeted that earlier. Just fucking bring back Shaq Thompson. You can have Bernard, you can have Shaq Thompson, you can have Dorian Williams, and you can have Buffalo Joe Hendrickson. There you go. There's your 4 linebackers. Because it doesn't seem like the Bills are going to spend any money there. And I guess Jordan Hancock may as well just start at safety too. All these safeties are gone too. I'm not saying there's nobody left in free agency, but man, people who I respect, who, I watch what they say or read what they put out there. These lists, these reasonable priced fucking lists of guys are just all going off the board in the Bills, and we're sitting here in day 2 of tampering in a make-or-break season I thought would be a make-or-break season for Brandon Beane. And so far, he has signed a borderline starting nickel corner, and fucking Kyle Allen, Josh's golf buddy, is back. And we're talking about Dawson Knox and Tyler Bass as we're getting in the real free agency starting right now. It is just fucking annoying. And I know I'm being premature. I know I'm overreacting. The Bills might do 1 or 2 things tomorrow, and I'm going to be on cold takes, freezing cold takes, or whatever the fuck. I don't care. Right now, as a Bills fan, it's just annoying to see this. I'm so over it, man. You call him backstabbing Bean, little finger. I think he just wanted to save his job. I don't know what the fuck he said to Terry McGlow to get a promotion, but he better do something because this defense sucks. You want Jordan Hancock starting? You want TJ Sanders starting? You want Dorian Williams all being starters? Go ahead. May as well have Landon Jackson out there too on the edge. Throw him out there. He was a fucking day 2 pick. Put him out there as well. Not doing shit right now. It's pissing me off. There, you happy now?
I'm happy. I'm happy. Look, I'm glad you. And look, I will take full responsibility. I prodded this out of you. I poked the bear. And I was like, look, just get to the point. I know you're pissed off. You're talking in circles about Crosby and Hendrickson and all that shit. Like, I knew you wanted to get there. I'll add a little bit of nuance. There's no nuance. What the fuck? I hate saying nuance because it's bullshit. If they stay pat and they don't really do much, it tells me that Brandon Beane is getting high on his own supply. And he thinks he like TJ Sanders or Walker or whoever the other asshole was that they drafted the defensive lineman who didn't do anything last year.
Landon Jackson,
Williams, Bernard. It tells me he thinks it was the system that was the issue. Now we got that out of there. I got my blitz heavy guys.
Yeah, he thinks he's Spags or something like that. Like they just fucking hired the second coming of Steve Spagnuolo instantly.
Yeah, but it would be like him thinking my guys have been held back by McDermott, and this is what it shows me. Because I've been saying it. Like when I hear, I wrote about this in my blog a couple weeks ago, my Substack, about thinking this defense is going to look a lot like it could look like Rex Ryan's defense. And I'm not saying that as an insult, like, because we went through hell, whatever, but like it's going to be that complicated where everyone's going to be a hybrid and play different positions. And I always say hybrid is like the safe word, because then it's like, oh, we'll be fine because this guy could be an edge rusher, but he could also be an outside linebacker, or this cornerback can go on the outside and come in the inside, and this safety can play. It's a very, like, it's a trope to make you feel good. And as someone, and this is story time again, as someone who remembers having how it switched from different time frames, I've seen it just blow up in the Bills' faces, especially that first or second year. Like it could, and that's the thing. Like I don't know if these guys can fit that. I asked you like last time, like who are you excited to see in this defense? It was Michael Hoyt. That's reasonable. I could see that, but this is a guy who got popped for PEDs. This is also a guy who is coming off
Achilles.
Say again?
Yeah, he's coming off a torn Achilles.
Yeah, he's coming off a bad injury, and like I'm gonna get excited about him. Like, good luck, like with that. But that's if they don't do anything. And look, I'm not as you said. They could come in tomorrow, sign some modest guys, and maybe they're a starter, make some trades. But it really feels like Brandon Beane is just high on his own supply, and like I drafted these great guys, and these are my guys, and I feel like they're going to be great next year, where TJ Sanders is going to be an awesome end, or whatever the hell he's going to be. I don't even know what the hell he's going to be on this defense. That's what it feels
Landon
like.
Jackson?
Whatever, Sanders
I would rather they traded for Max Crosby and put him in a fucking wheelchair and had Javon Sullivan wheel him out there than play Landon Jackson at edge in a 3-4 defense. Speaking of Javon Sullivan, another brilliant, I thought this guy was going to be something, and he could even. They were having TJ Sanders play defensive end last year because Javon Sullivan was so useless in at least last year's defense that he was literally just a special teams player. Oh my God. On the video side, we got to take a quick 5-second break and literally going to be right back. All right, back here, more Talking Buffalo. By the way, if you haven't checked out Joe's new blog on Substack, make sure you check it out. I got it on the screen as well. www.joefromqueens.substack.
I want a full screen graphic.
You're not worth a full screen graphic. You get a third.
You put Dracula Fairburn and Kentucky Reed Derby's faces on everything. Like, you know what? That pisses me off. You do a live show and we get Mafia Matt in his 3-piece suit that he got in Men's Warehouse, and Kentucky Reed Derby, and who else is there? Prospect Profit's face. I don't get anything. I've never had a full screen like banner or anything like that. Matt Rich Warren the 7th probably has one with him wearing a fucking crown. Bullshit.
Listen,
no hugs for you, buddy. I got the shirt at the Queen Zoo, by the way. It's a big porcupine, and it says no hugs.
That is pretty cool, man. Dude,
it was only $17. It was only $17 at the zoo. I thought it was a good deal.
You said the Queen Zoo?
Queen Zoo, yeah. There's a Queen
I never
Zoo.
knew there was a Queen Zoo. I know the Bronx Zoo, of course.
There's a Bronx Zoo. That's the giant one, obviously. But there's a Queen Zoo, a New York Central Park Zoo, and a Brooklyn Zoo. And if you get the zoo pass, which we get, it's like for a family, it's like $150 for the year. So, and you can have like 4 people or whatever.
Oh,
it
cool.
covers all those zoos, and it pays for itself. I love the zoo. You go there, they got good beer. You walk around, you get your steps in. You just hope that the fucking lion doesn't eat your kid, and you're fine.
So earlier in the show, when I was just fucking relentlessly or aimlessly, I should say, kind of ranting about my frustration that Brandon Beane's not really doing anything. I want to be specific. I was talking about the defense. I'm very happy with the offense on this football team right now. Very happy. I glanced over. Sure. I was almost making fun of Dawson Knox being big news. That doesn't mean that I don't think that it was the right thing to do. I think bringing Dawson Knox back and working out a deal where he's back is a good thing. I know you're indifferent to it. I understand that.
More than indifferent, but go ahead.
95 catches, 1,210 yards, 12 touchdowns. That's the tight end room last year. It was the best, most consistent unit on this football team. Anyway, they keep that intact. You go out, you trade for DJ Moore. You did improve the receiver room. I'm sure you feel the same way, and I'm going to agree with you. I'd still like to see them add another receiver, maybe a lower-priced veteran, certainly a rookie into the mix. But DJ Moore makes the receiver room better. Losing David Edwards, that kind of sucks, but I'm all right with Alec Anderson. Re-signing Connor McGovern was huge. So the offense is in good shape. It's more or less running it back from last year with maybe a little bit of a lesser starting left guard, but a much better wide receiver. DJ Moore is a lot better than Curtis Samuel or Brandon Cooks, if nothing else. I think everybody would agree with that. Plus, they'll add somebody else. The offense is good. My issue is this. This defense kind of sucks right now. That's the problem with this team. You could see it a mile away. It might only be March, but you could see it a mile away. This defense is not very good right now at all. Cole Bishop is good. Christian Benford is good. Greg Rizzo and Ed Oliver are good. What else do you have that is kind of like, I don't even want to say a lock, that's just like a good bet to be really good? I don't think Bernard's a good bet to be good. Is he going to all of a sudden not get hurt anymore because there's a new defensive coordinator? Is Dorian Williams, who, by the way, he gets banged up kind of a lot too, is he going to not get hurt anymore because they got a new defensive coordinator? There's a lot of holes on this team, and I'm watching all these guys go off the board, and it's like, well, build to the draft. I mean, a draft where they already don't have a second round pick too? I can't figure out what they're doing right now. It's just, I know I'm being impatient and stupid. I can't help it.
You have a question in that rant or that rigmarole. Do you have a question for me?
I don't know.
Do you want me to start? Do you want me just to? Okay, so let's go back to the first thing. Your boy Dawson Knox, who you love, you love him. And look, I get what you're saying. The tight end room was very nice, fine, but you have to ask yourself: was the tight end room being efficient a detriment to the wide receiver room? Because I talked about this, that you're playing two tight ends a lot. And those guys are on the field more than like having 3-4 wide receivers. So you can't get your wide receivers involved as much.
The wide receivers sucked.
That's very true. I'm not going to dispute that. But as I told you, if you have Moore and you have Shakir, and then you have the two tight ends, and like doesn't that like kind of hinder like the wide receivers, like the third guy getting better or having to spread the field a kind of a little bit? I think it does. Now, look, for your boy Dawson, we don't know the contract terms as of now. I want to see what it is. Like, what's his cap figure? I am not a Dawson Knox fan. I have told you this before.
They could have saved $9 million if they would have cut him 9.4 if they cut him, which they did.
I want to see what this and I want to see this cap number because I don't. Dawson Knox last year was ranked. Like I think it was. I looked this up for catches and receiving yards for tight ends. He was ranked like 30th, basically in both categories. So. I know you overrate him. I think a lot of Bill's Murphia over there. I guess I call him the Murphia. No, the Mafia and Mafia Matt and all those guys love that guy because he's a quote machine and he made that one song popular, which is fine.
That's the one thing I hate about him being back is Mr. Brightside going to live on.
Okay. That's you like shit from like the 80s. Okay, you punts. But I just don't see it. Like, what you're gonna put all your tight ends on the field again? And it's like, I want to see the contract number, the cap figure, because I was just like, look, let Dalton Kincaid be your single tight end who plays more than 40% of the snaps. Have him play like 70 for God's sakes, and like see what he does. Like, you have to push someone out to see if this other guy can be the guy. But you love Dawson Knox. I don't see it. I've never liked him. I'm going to go on a Dawson Knox rant. How about that? Since you had a 7-hour.
Well, you better hope that Colleen doesn't pop up.
Dude, she doesn't talk anymore. She hasn't been on here for like a year. Okay, stop talking about Colleen because you fantasize about her being the only woman that listens to this podcast. The bottom line with Dawson is I've never been a fan of his. He killed a Bengal in his second ever game or whatever that was, and like everyone was like, he's great and overrated him. It's all shit. And he didn't do any. He kept dropping passes. Then his third year, he was good. I'll give him credit. Fine. They gave him a big, giant fucking bag. And then he became completely mediocre. Okay, he's mid. His numbers are mid. Yeah, he's a better blocker now. Yeah, he's Josh Allen's best friend. Josh Allen may as well be the fucking GM of the offense at this point. And that's fine. Like, he should have carte blanche. That's fine. But I've never really understood the love for Dawson Knox. I'm sorry. And like, I want to see what the cap number is. If he's making like $4 or $5 million and it's a deal you can get out of easily, okay, fine. But if he's making a lot, I'm not down with that. I want this passing game to flourish. and it hasn't flourished. And I think part of it has been the ground and pound bullshit that they want to do. And as I told you before, the leading rushers in this league were sitting on their asses, and that they weren't. Jonathan Taylor almost won the rushing title. He was sitting on his ass, and James Cook was sitting down too. And maybe I know all this shit could have happened in the fucking Broncos game, but I just don't. I don't like how they use their tight ends. I need more than 95 catches from those two guys. I just do, or whatever the number you put up.
It's a lot, bro. Not 1,200 yards receiving with the tight ends. 12
touchdowns.
That's a ton.
Pat, how effective were there? Was there a Dawson Knox play you remember from this past year that you were like, thank God we have Dawson Knox?
Yeah, he dropped a touchdown against the Browns, which stopped Josh Allen from having 40 touchdowns combined.
That's
we didn't have to hear about another 40 touchdowns
this year. Yeah, but that's it. There's no Dawson Knox.
But he was going to be the hero. Josh was going to, if Josh doesn't make a shitty throw, Dawson Knox catches the ball against Denver. We go to the AFC Championship.
Oh, yes.
game.
And then he finishes with the stat line of 2 catches for 30 yards and a fucking touchdown. And you and the film bros have a fucking content bro summit where you're like, Dawson Knox to him.
I will admit one thing. I'll admit one thing. Yeah. It is a little premature because if they're only saving maybe $2 million more by restructuring them, they could have got a $9.4 million to cut him outright. But my mindset is, well, what was Brandon Beane going to do? Sign 3 special team core players with that money? Because it sure feels like that's what they're going to do. They'll give Sam Martin fucking $3 million a year, but they won't sign a linebacker or a safety because Buffalo Joe Hendrickson's probably going to be in the rotation at this rate.
I'm sure Terry Pegula loves Buffalo Joe, and he's like, get this guy in the field. He's got a collar that's blue. But yeah, going back to hating Dawson Knox. Yeah, I don't agree with it. I'm just like, look, pass the torch to Dalton, Band-Aid, Kincaid, whatever you want to call him.
Dalton Band-Aid. Man, he's a great player, but he doesn't.
Hold on. We talked about this before. He's not a great player. Like, see, this is my thing.
He is a great tight end. When he's on the field, he is. And Josh Allen is a great quarterback when he's on the field.
I need more. If you're going to have a big-ass tight end that you have a first-round pick and you're going to give him a lot of money, I need him to be a 70-catch guy with close to 1,000 yards. Not fucking 60 catches for 500 yards and you're getting check downs and you're dancing the bright side. I need a stud. This is the problem with the Bills. They don't have enough studs on either side of the ball. They got a bunch of guys who some are good, some are mid, some bring pizza to the fucking media room, some are great with fucking the bros and they fucking golf and all that shit that everyone that has any influence on Bill's Twitter loves. They need star players. And look, if Dalton Kincaid is as great as you say he is, he has to play more. Even when he's playing, he doesn't get a lot of snaps. He plays like 40 to 50% of the snaps. Why? Because they don't think he can block? Fuck that. I want a guy who can stretch the field. You spend a first-round pick on him. Go get Lee Smith if you want a fucking blocker. It's stupid. I don't like Dawson Knox. I'm sorry, dude. I'm jealous because he's a good-looking dude. I mean, I'm good-looking too, but he's very good-looking.
He's definitely a lot better looking than you are.
Fuck you. I'm good looking. I'm 46, bro. I look good. I went to my barber yesterday and he was shocked when I told him I was 46. And he was like, you look good. Okay. So kiss my ass. I mean,
Mike Carliso said, did he eat a blue chew or something?
Oh, Carliso.
He's talking about you. Tonight. He says, Joe looks energetic. Did he eat a blue chew or something? Carlisto's been giving me shit that I look tired every podcast. So thank you for once to saying I look energetic because you don't like my bags and fuck you, Carlisto. But anyways, wait, I want to get another rant out of you because you didn't send me a rundown so I can go rogue. I told you there's no rundown today. We're just winging shit, man.
Where's my Reggie Gilliam rant? Give me a Reggie Gilliam rant. Let's go.
Well, no. Ralph Wilson Sr. in the chat. He was 100% right on the lie, but we had already moved on and you were talking endlessly there. Yeah, I said the offense is set. And then, they're running it back. They're not. Reggie Gilliam is gone. Oh. I fucking am not happy about that. I can tell you that right now. The Bills have done 2 things already. I've already talked about how I feel about them not doing anything on defense. they've lost two guys that I feel like were completely fucking stupid and unnecessary. And one of them certainly is Reggie Gilliam. Now, New England paid him good money, like $6 million guaranteed or whatever. I'm not saying the Bills should have matched that. I'm saying Brandon Beane, Mr. fucking proactive himself, he should have extended Reggie Gilliam before this season. He's an important part of this team. He's a great yes. Are you saying he's
Based
not?
on what? Based on what?
He's a great blocker. Do you ever watch the games?
I do watch the games.
You need to be a film bro. You need to become a film bro. Because if you were, you would appreciate Reggie Gilliam.
For Trump than me being a film bro. Like, not happening. Okay?
Reggie Gilliam is an elite blocker, okay? He is. He's talented. He's the ultimate tush pusher. That was Mr. Automatic. And he's a core special teams player. And he goes to the fucking Patriots. This is the second straight year where New England has poached a good quality, high character, useful role player on this team. Folks, I know he's not here because he would have already been saying it. Who's the one who I give the Matt Collins funeral for every week in our live? I can't remember who it is.
The guy is the one that
Diamond Pickle. Diamond Pickle's not with us tonight. I haven't seen him all night. But get ready for the Reggie Gilliam funerals all throughout 2026. That's a fucking terrible move, not locking him up earlier and putting him in position to go get paid by New England. That's a Brandon Beane mistake right there. And then I don't like him. Go ahead. What?
Pitts in the live chat has a great comment. How many effing blockers do we need? Let's get some playmakers. Exactly. You're Mr. The fullback. Are there even? Can you name? Did the Seahawks have a fullback that was there that won when they won the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
Did the Chiefs have one? Did the Eagles have one? Did anyone have one? You're insane. It's a fullback.
Javers, Hawes, Gilliam, Knox. How many fucking blockers?
Yeah, exactly. How many?
Well, that's why they got the number one rusher in the NFL.
Oh yes, and they didn't.
Listen,
go to the
he's
Super
a great
Bowl.
Special teams player. He's a high character player, very popular player. He's a tush pusher. There was no reason for him to go somewhere else.
But let me ask you this: why is it he shouldn't have went anywhere? But like the Franklin guy, special teams, or they re-signed him. He's a safety. They need safety help more than they fucking need a fullback.
I think Brandon Beane momentarily forgot that Sean McDermott wasn't the head coach because they just they're addicted to getting special teams aces on this team. So that's my point, Joe. Okay, what does Gilliam get in a year? $3 to $4 million with fucking New England now, right? Reggie Gilliam, you might not like it, but he's a great blocker. He plays like 20% in the offensive snaps. He's a great blocker. He can catch the ball. He helps with the tush push, and he's a great special teams player. And you let him walk. But then you give Sam Franklin, who was literally useless other than special teams. Like Max Hairston, Trey White, Christian Benford, Teron Johnson, Cam Lewis could all be in a body bag, okay? And you'd be better off having Connor McGovern play fucking safety than Sam Franklin. That's how bad he is in the secondary. And he gets $3 million a year just to play special teams. But you won't pay Reggie Gilliam, or you won't pay Cam Lewis, who went to Chicago today. You're
going to have an aneurysm. An aneurysm over.
I'm so mad. Fullback. I'm so mad at the way this free agent week has started.
Did you lose your mind in 2002 or no? What was it? 2000 when they cut Sam Gash? Did you lose your mind when they cut Damon Shelton? Did you You must have been pissed when Carwell Gardner went to the Ravens. Forget Max Crosby going to the Ravens that pissed you off. Carwell Gardner going to the Ravens.
Jamie Mueller, I miss him still.
You know what?
I still think about Jamie Mueller.
He was a good blocker, but he caught that one touchdown against the Jets many moons ago, and then he got hurt, and like his career ended, and then your boy Carwell. Let me hot take it because give me a rundown. Hot take: Bill Polian in the '90s for the Bills, or from '89 up until he left, wasn't very good. Carwell Gardner was a second-round draft pick, like James Williams, not good. You look at those drafts; they weren't very good. He was always good at picking guys near the top of the draft, but if he had to go find guys somewhere else, kind of mid. Anyways, that's your take for that. That's your hot take of Joe Mania 8. Go ahead. What's your next rant? Are you pissed off that they lost? They lost the other Edwards. Are you pissed off that Connor McGovern didn't bring you pizza? By the way, Ralph Wilson had a comment in the thing. Connor McGovern didn't buy those pizzas. He just gave them to them that that Boyko bought them. Okay, so stop saying it was a nice gesture. You want to ball wash Connor McGovern.
I thought he made. Well, he's known for making his pizzas. I thought he.
I seriously doubt he fucking made the media. If he made the media pizza, he's never going to get criticized ever again. He can have 17 false starts in one game, and they're going to blame the crowd noise, or they're going to blame fucking Josh Allen's big ass or whatever. Like, no, bullshit. Anyways, go ahead. Oh, the Trek reviewer, Larry Kennerbrew. That is a throwback. Remember Larry Kennerbrew when he was here?
I remember him with the Bengals.
He was with the Bills. I'll tell you quick give me a sidebar here. He signed with the Bills in '89, and like he was short yardage guy. The fans used to go brew whenever when he got the ball. So it was like the Bruce brew, and then he got cut after that Miami game in '90 when it was 30-7, and that's when like they got killed by the Bills. And he fumbled at like the goal line, and then Marv cut him, and I never heard from him again. So there you go. So that's really? Larry Kennerbrew Bill's story. Yes. Ralph Wilson, check that. Fact check it, Ralph Wilson in the chat. You know I'm right.
I also am very well aware that Rob Riddick wasn't a fullback.
No, he was a running back. He was like
he ran the ball. He used to run the rock, Rob Riddick. Yeah. Number 40.
Kennerbrew might have been a running back. They had a lot. Dude, they had like in '89, I think they had Ronnie Harmon, Thurman, Larry Kennerbrew as like their running backs, and Thurman, like 4. They had like a bunch of running backs. They loved it. I mean, you would have probably loved it. And then they had, they had Mueller was back there too. So there you go.
Let's spend a couple of Cookie Gilchrist, of course. Yeah. Ralph Wilson says no OJ without Jim Braxton. When did this become a fullback episode?
Because you had an aneurysm because Reggie Gilliam's leaving. And
again, you don't pay Reggie Gilliam, but you pay Sam Franklin.
Let me ask you this right now.
Make sense. Go ahead.
Right now, bigger heartbreak for you: Matt Collins leaving or Reggie Gilliam? Like, who's having the bigger funeral?
Man, Matt Collins.
You still can't get over that fucking.
He was their best fucking receiver last year. He
had like 400 yards. This is why I hate you, and I hate the Bills. Everyone eats.
He led the team. He had 5 touchdown catches last year, man.
Great, awesome.
Well, he was a great signing, and he's gone. Reggie Gilliam was a great bill, and now he's gone. I get it. You can't pay everybody. Just pay the right people, and stop giving out stupid, shitty contracts where these void years. You know what? It's not so much the void years. It's just the bad contracts, like the Dawson Knox contracts.
Yes. Let me just say this real quick, and then I think we should go to Sabres unless you have any, because you don't send me the rundown. There's too much of overreaction to contracts on Twitter, especially day one of free agency. I don't get it. All you have to do as a fan, a content creator, or a Bills bro beat, you have to look at what is that cap number and what is the dead cap if you cut that guy. That's all you should care about. Like, I saw some content bro was like blowing bean because, James Cook isn't even in the top 10 for cap hit next year. Big baller bean and all that sort of rigmarole. And I'm like, okay, it's his cap number. Go look at his cap number next year, which I did. And James Cook is in the top 5 for cap number next year. Go look at the next year. He's in the top 3. That's how it is. Like, every year, it's bullshit. It's all manipulation. And like, everyone acts like that's not the case at all when these things happen. They're either trying to ball wash Bean and be like, he's doing great because this guy's contract isn't the same as the other guy. No. It's how it is. Okay, that's why they extended more, because they wanted his cap number to fucking go down to $6.5 million or whatever the fuck it is. And then in 2 years, he's going to be the highest paid wide receiver ever by a cap number, and they'll restructure it. So I don't buy the whole, everyone's getting paid so much like you did. Like, I understand that. No, fuck that. You want to get good players, you can manipulate the cap. Don't let the cap dictate your entire free agency. The Bills somehow, when they were over the cap, and I think they're still over the cap. We're waiting for Josh Allen to restructure his deal, which I don't know.
They won't be Wednesday at 4 p.m.
Yeah, anyways, but my point is correct. It's fact. People like you you fan the Flames, and you're all like, oh my god, this guy Mike Evans isn't going to see $60 million. Moore is not going to see $75 million. They're just not. That's how it is. And like, it's just, you got to look at the cap number and how you can get out of it. So I hope you know that, and you don't, because you're just going to be like, you're going to do the same shit next year. Just like in July, you're going to hype up fucking Buffalo Joe or the fucking new fullback that you can't wait for them to fucking get an undrafted free agency. And you'll be at the Content Bro Summit at St. John Fisher, and some guy's going to block some third string linebacker. You go like, this fullback should be on the team today. Anyways, this beer is very good, by the way. It's very strong. I'm happy with it.
Does it
worth
taste
the $8?
Does it taste like cheap shit beer?
No, it's definitely good. I don't know why it was $8, but like it's a barrel. Look, I would say this. I know you're not a big craft beer guy, but if you get anything with like, because do you like bourbon in general?
A little bit. Not
okay.
Not,
like bourbon barrel beer is great because it's like very strong. It goes down smooth, and it's good. Like it doesn't taste like a beer, and it definitely like I'm feeling. And it could be because I'm on my no carbs diet, which I know there's carbs in this beer, but that's the only carbs I usually have been having. I'm trying to get slender. Get
You're
get
being
some
a
more
pussy.
I'm sorry. What? That's very unwoke. Matt Rich Warren the 7th would not be on this podcast right now if you said that to him. Anyways,
let me ask you this question in all seriousness. And listen, I know the Sabres are in Fuego. Maybe we'll talk 5 minutes about them at the end, but I don't really. It's not that I don't want to talk about them. I just don't. I'm getting tired of saying the same things episode after episode with them. Here's what I wanted to ask you about DJ Moore. So the trade last week. Part of me was like, well, I want to see what these other receivers are going to get. And then I kind of might have a better idea of how I feel about the DJ Moore trade. And I see, and again, if you watch this episode, I think you can all conclude, whether you love us or whether you hate us, I think you can all conclude that neither Joe nor I are homers. I think everybody would come to that conclusion.
No, we're bipolar. That's what we are.
A little bit. But when I tell you, I see Romeo Doubs sign with the Patriots and get at least $17 million a year, and he could get up to $20 million per year, while Mike Evans at 32 years old with the injuries got with Frisco, and he's guaranteed to get hurt. Frisco, everybody gets hurt in Frisco. Who's the Rashid Shaheed re-signed with Seattle? He got like over $17 million a year. The more I'm seeing these salaries, Alec Pierce, of course, almost 28, 29 million. I feel better about DJ Moore.
Did you even hear my rant? You just did not hear any of it. You were looking at Tooch. You were looking at Twitter. I just told you those deals are fake, and it's all about the cap number. Why does no one want to understand?
Well, you're not completely. Well, I was just letting you rant, right. But you're not completely right. It does matter.
I am right.
Joe, are you looking at the Bills' dead cap right now? What do you think is the biggest reason why we're sitting there saying, when the fuck are the Bills going to sign somebody?
Okay, time out, sir. This is what happens when you've been trying to win the Super Bowl for 7 years. The dead cap is going to catch up. That's how it is. Now they still added some player. They did sign Pizza Boy, who you're very thrilled with. They signed it. They got more.
The starting center. Should I not be thrilled?
You should be thrilled. I just called him Pizza Boy, but I'm just saying, like, they have still signed guys, even when they have all this dead cap. But you're totally. It's again, you can manipulate the cap. You could do all that shit. I don't think the Bills are going to truly pay for it until like 2034 or something like that. I'm serious.
I don't agree with that, man. I think they're kind of paying for it a little bit right now.
I think you're just too much. You're too much into the weeds. And like you could sit there and look at everyone else. I'll say it right now. I don't think the deal. Look, if Moore is great, I'm not going to give a shit about compensation.
Let me ask you this question about him.
I'm asking the question, motherfucker. Jesus Christ, you interrupt me, and I don't like that. You.
Well, this is about him. It's a good question. It's from Tooch.
I'm about to.
Tooch gets priority on this podcast.
Give Tooch 20 seconds, okay? He can wait. I'm about to make a good point, right. Okay? With the I told this to you. You told me to go fuck off when I told you this. But like, I look at the Pittman trade, and like Pittman's numbers are pretty good. I get the drawbacks. He's been injury prone, but the fact that all it took was swapping a 6th and a 7th, and then you give him a new contract, and the Bills gave up a second rounder. I don't care what you say. I will say more is better. Fine. But it is not a fucking Grand Canyon Jenny Sack ass like fucking difference between the two of them. There is not. So like I'm gonna throw that out there and go, you probably did overpay that a little bit. I know you're gonna say there were people interested in it. And I'm sure Boyko and Bean are gonna leak it to Kentucky Reed Derby or fucking Southie and be like, oh my God, the XFL was in on it. Everyone was in on it. They wanted more. They were going to draft it. They're going to give chicken wings and first sons for this guy. Okay, fine, great. But come on, you're going to tell me like it's that big of a fucking difference? That's bullshit. Ralph Wilson in the chat probably agrees with me. Go ahead and say I'm wrong, because I know you're going to say I'm wrong because you listen to Podfather.
I love Orville. This comment is the best. Joe don't care about the cap. You don't care about turnovers.
Yep.
He doesn't care about quality players walking. These things matter. Long live Joe from Queens.
Quality? Reggie Gilliam is just a dude. He didn't win them any games last year.
You don't care about the cap. You don't care about turnovers.
Nope.
I love it, man. Let me get back to the Chooch question. This is from Chooch.
Yeah, no sell me, Vince Russo. Go ahead.
All right. So here it is. Mm-hmm. The Bills give up a second-round pick. They guarantee us a good amount of money to DJ Moore. He comes to the Bills this year in 2026. And the question is, would you take 900 yards and 7 touchdowns from Moore this year? If he has 900 yards and 7 touchdowns, are you going to call that a good addition to this team in year one? It's a good question.
Good question. I'm going to say no. If you want me to say yes or no, no. Now, could there be differences? Like, could Shakir have 920 yards? Could Kincaid get 850 yards? Could your boy Josh Palmer, who you ball washed, the ball washing king of 2025, if he has 600
I'm not out
yards,
on him either.
I know you're not. You're not on anyone yet. The only one you hate is Keon. And I don't even know. Do you hate Keon? I forgot. I'm
out on Keon.
Anyways, yes, but it depends on how everyone else does. I'm gonna say no. But if you gotta get at least 1,000, it's Josh fucking Allen back there, man. It's Josh Allen. I'm hoping that the reason why Reggie Gilliam walked is they don't want to run the football as much as they used to. You said this on You said this on Joe Mania 7 on Sunday that, hey, how do we not know that Sean McDermott didn't put his thumb on the scale and wanted the offense to be this way? Okay. Wouldn't Reggie Gilliam leaving be one of those reasons? Because Sean McDermott wanted to run the football 5,000 times like I used to talk about? Couldn't that be the case, that they let Reggie Gilliam walk so they can actually throw?
Actually, it's a good point. Maybe they're getting away from the fullback usage.
Yeah, because fuck the fullback. You can find a fullback anywhere. All you got, get Dawson Knox behind Josh Allen to grab his ass and pull him up for the fucking tush book. It'll be fine. Because he doesn't do anything else except dance to Mr. Brightside and fucking make the ladies swoon. Okay.
I don't think that the philosophy is going to change too much with Joe Brady in terms of, I think it's unfair if you only go by statistics. I don't think DJ Moore is going to be like, oh my God, thank God we gave up a second round pick to go get him. I think it's going to be kind of like what Brandon Cooks, making the big catch in the big moment. He'll make plays with the football in his hand. If it hits his hands, I expect him to catch it. I expect him to be durable. He doesn't miss games. But I don't necessarily expect him to have 82 catches for 1,200 yards. I don't think he's going to be 2020 through 2022 Stephon Diggs with the Bills, because I do think that they're going to still run the ball enough, and they're going to spread it around to Shakir and to Kincaid and Josh Palmer, which, by the way, I'm going to give you a take that you're going to roll your eyes at me like fucking crazy. But I mean this. I'm not joking. This is my Josh Palmer take. I think last year was injury-filled.
Of course.
And all the money, we're like, oh, my God, the worst contract ever. $10 million or so, $9 to $10 million he's getting a year. Look at what these guys are getting this year on the open market.
God.
Josh Palmer could end up being a steal next year. If he stays healthy, he stays on the field. I think Josh Palmer, who might be wide receiver 3 on this team, I think Josh Palmer could be one of the best bargains on this entire football team next year.
what is with you and how much wide receivers are getting paid? It's about the cap number. He's going to look like everyone, Pat, everyone looks like a bargain when you compare him to last year. Of course, he's going to look like a bargain. Inflation happens. Go to watch the news. It costs $7 for an egg carton now. 3 years ago, it was $2.99 or whatever the fuck it was. That's how it works. I don't care about that. I need Josh Palmer.
I know you don't care about the cap.
I don't. If I was the GM, we would have won 7 Super Bowls already. Every year we had dynasty because I would have been like, "Fuck those picks, give me these guys, and we'll bury someone else."
The Bills would not have a pick this decade if you were the general manager.
I would have done what the Clippers did with Kawhi Leonard. I would have had a fucking bullshit shell company for Josh Allen to be like, "Hey Josh, I'm gonna build you a farm. We're gonna call it." Joe from Queens Farm, and he's going to be the CEO, and I'm going to give him like $1 billion and be like, there you go, buddy. That's for you to run your farm, and you can put it somewhere else. I would have done that. But anyways, what the cap? Enough with this bargain shit because of caps. Be good. Don't worry about the cap. It's going.
Well, I think Josh Palmer is a better player than what people think because last year was a bad year.
You see, before the Atlanta game where he got hurt, he didn't do much. He had an okay game against Baltimore, and then he caught a bomb against Atlanta, and we never heard from him again.
Well, he got hurt in that game. Guess who hurt him, by the way? The new Bills cornerback.
Well, which
was kind of a borderline hip drop tackle, too.
Is he any good? I mean, I haven't. I sent a Q&A to
I talked. All right, so I could use his name because I don't have to say source because he told me I could, but I talked to Damone Harris, who played with him for 2 years in Atlanta. And
go ahead.
I was going to say he had a lot of good things to say about him. And Damone, at least when I talk to him, I've known him for a long time. He's always honest with me. If he said negative shit, I would say a player told me or a source told me. Anyway, he said he's a good player. He said he's a dog. He said he's a little bit undersized, but he's relentless. And he's, I know you're going to love this, a great character guy too.
Oh, thank God for those character guys.
Yeah.
Character. Thank God. Okay.
It's weird to me. I still don't. If that was going to be their move, I don't know that I would have just not kept Teron Johnson another year. To be honest with you, I'm kind of.
Well, I don't know. They're trying to say that that Alfred or whatever the fuck his name is. He could play on the outside. Yeah, he could, and we don't know about Johnson. I mean, this is like the Bills spin on it.
D. Alfred is Cam Lewis, but more athletic. Like he's a faster Cam Lewis. That's basically what he is.
Happens. I mean, look, it does feel like as of now, and look, things could happen tomorrow or Sunday, that they're really banking on, some of their guys that, hey, the system was what the issue was, and Brandon Beane's a big baller and he knows talent, and we it's all the Puna forward, Tim Settle stuff. Like, look at how great they are elsewhere. It was John McDermott's system killed them, and that's the case here. That's what I feel like will be the spin. And I'm sure at training camp and OTAs, all you guys are going to be like, oh my God, TJ Sanders looks amazing. I love him. See, this is what happens. You see, this bourbon, this bourbon beer is great. Are we done with the Bills? We got more about the Bills? Go.
Yeah, I wanted to run down, again, for people waking up on Wednesday, because it's
embarrassing we have not talked about the Sabres yet. Embarrassing.
It's not. This
is called talking football, not talking Buffalo from now on. Anyways, go ahead. I'm sure you're going to lose because I'm sure Dracula Fairburn and Prospect Prophet will drop a fucking podcast at 5 a.m. and it's going to do 1,000 hits, and you're going to be jealous because they're talking the Sabres and we're talking about the fullback.
I'm not jealous. We got 1,200 here in the live at almost 11 o'clock on a random.
They're waiting for us to talk about the Sabres
Tuesday night. Well, what I wanted to say is this. Again, people are going to wake up, and if they listen to this before anything else, and they're hearing me sound like a absolute lunatic over the Bills not doing anything today and these players that I thought were reasonable coming off the board. I'm looking at my list that I had, and there's still, and even you, who's pretty stupid outside of the Bills and doesn't really know anybody.
I know people. Fuck.
Even like some of these names that are still out there right now. Like, I'll just throw off a few of them. Edge rushers, Dante Fowler Jr. is out there. He's a pretty good one. And defensive line, DJ Reader still out there. Calais Campbell, we talked about. Well, Dre Greenlaw from Denver is the only linebacker now. By the way, I really want him. Denver just cut him yesterday because they re-signed Singleton. They re-signed both their guys. By the way, this whole, Jim Leonard's going to bring all these Denver guys, not fucking one. No, actually, they've only signed one guy on defense, period. But anyway, there's a couple good safeties still out there, too. Andre Sisco, Kevin Berard. Wide receivers, Christian Kirk, Darnell Mooney, Tutu Atwell. There's not a lot out there. Fuck. They better they better do something, man, because this defense is just going to be booty cheeks. If you got Hancock, if you got Jordan Hancock, Dorian Williams, and TJ Sanders, and Michael Hoyt, all four of them starting, this is going to be a booty cheek defense. All right, I'm going to give you what you want, man. Sabres.
Thank God. 70 minutes into this fucking show.
I mean, what more is there to say that we haven't been saying already?
The problem is, look, I get it. You suck at hockey talk unless you...
Did you actually... I think you might have actually watched some of this game.
Yeah, I did. I watched it. So this would have been a great story to top it off because everyone would have been excited to see this. But, my wife was out. And, I've talked about this. We don't do screen time all that much, but when Daddy's home, Daddy controls the remote, and me and the son watched the first period. He wanted to watch Elmo. I was a good father and said, hell fucking no, we're watching this game. And, it was again, another fun game to watch. They scored 6 goals. They had fights again. Different guys scoring. Quinn looks great. The one asshole that they traded for in Washington who got that goal, it was like a highlight goal where he got the
Valentine.
Yeah, I forgot that fucker's name.
Another great Kevin Adams move. That was the only two that I had in the whole game, Joe.
Kevin Adams. We're not talking about that loser.
Well, I mean, he traded a second-round pick for that guy, and I'm like, that kind of looked shitty. Now it's another move that makes Kevin Adams look like a fucking genius right now. Anyway,
well, he should be an assistant GM like Dwight from Schrute or whatever the fuck in Nashville or something.
Assistant to the regional.
Yes,
GM.
Give him over there. But they're just so good right now, and they've won what? 8? Is it now 8 straight in a row?
8-0. 8-0.
Insane
since the break.
And it's just they're playing fun hockey, and their defense. I know the third period, San Jose looked to be buzzing a little bit, and that usually is what happens when you're down and you're playing more aggressive. I think the Sharks had 12 shots on goal through 2 periods or something like that. Again, they're making their goalies look good, and I think a lot of it has to do with the blue line, the defense. And I think the only question I have is who you're starting at goalie when the playoffs.
There's no more question.
What?
I don't think there's a question.
What's the question?
I think I don't think it's. I think it's an easy answer. Is what I meant to say. It's Alex Lyon. It's Alex Lyon. He's playing.
Okay. Well, just FYI, a week ago you told me UPL, Mr. Fucking. I'm sure you stole that take from someone.
I think we might have said. Yeah, maybe I did.
No.
Maybe I
said
did.
UPL.
Well, I changed my mind.
Unlike, and that's fine. You could change your mind. So don't say it's an easy question.
You go with the hot guy. I know. It was Steve Bermel. It was Steve Bermel. I'm stealing Steve Bermel's take. He said you start a guy and you keep going. As long as he wins, you keep playing him. Steve
Bermel in the chat, and I knew he's a co-host with you. He does a great job. He's also got a Buffalo Blizzard logo. Fucking props to that. Avatar. Good for you, man. That's good. And just so you know, Pat stole that take from you. Okay, just so you know, Pat was all in on UPL. He stole it from you. Every hockey, 90% of what Pat says about the Sabres, he steals from the following: Steve Bermel, Chad Domenicis, Tone Pucks, his wife. Not me. He doesn't steal anything from me for whatever reason.
You don't have any meaningful hockey takes.
Dude, I know hockey. I'm a historian of hockey, goddammit.
Steve said on the show that you start lying in game 1, but even if you said UPL, let's just say UPL gets on a heater near the end of the year. Sure. What he said was you start a guy, and if he wins, you keep going because you play every other day. You keep going back to him 16 games in a row if he wins 16 in a row. That guy loses, you come out, and then you kind of reset it for that. Did you see the tweet that your hero, Nate Gary, put out? I think it's perfect for the Sabres.
That's my hero? That's your hero.
It's your hero, Nate Gary. He said, Sabres were like, sorry for 14 years of terrible hockey. Here's the most exciting hockey you've literally ever seen. That is kind of what it feels like because, man, I feel like I got to go back to the days of LaFontaine and McGill need to remember a more open, attacking,
Well,
fun brand of Sabres
it's
hockey. And those were just 2 or 3 guys. Sabres are coming at him in waves right now.
I know.
Fucking
Well, I know
Jack
you were
Quinn.
drunk. I know you were drunk during 05, 06, but like that's what the team reminds me of. It was a very balanced team where like they're scoring all these fun goals and like, again, like Quinn gets a hat trick tonight. I mean, I gotta know he got the empty net. Then they're sticking up for each other. Again, I know like I've said
Benson,
this
that was
before.
awesome.
Yeah, and look, I football character, I don't really buy all that much. I think it really is about talent. Hockey character, I do buy, and I do think sticking up for each other and that sort of shit, it builds up morale. I
Yeah.
think it builds up like chemistry, even with the fans like liking that more. But like they're just hot right now, and like I don't know what I'm gonna do in terms of like I need to find a Sabres hat. That's what I'm trying to do. I do not own a Sabres hat, which is kind of sad. Like I refuse to give a shit about the Sabres after probably like 2020. I was like, you guys call me when you're fucking good. And now they're good. And I'm like, I need to buy I'm unemployed, like a typical shitty blogger. And I'm like, I need to figure out how to buy a hat. But they've been incredible. And every night is just fun to watch them, and everyone. I mean, Deline is just like a monster now. Like I always thought of Deline as
He's
being
a
like,
rat. Like he's our rat though. Like if you played against him, if you watched against him, you would hate him. He's so chirpy, borderline dirty. He's like Brad Marchand in a way, but a defenseman. He's a kind of dirty player, but he's your dirty player. And but the difference is he's one of the most skilled players in the world too. You know what I mean? He's not a goon. But
no, yeah. I mean, you stole my heat as always, but yeah, I was about to say that. Like, yes, he doesn't. You think of him as the blonde, sweet. Oh, he's probably boring and like he's just finesse guy. No, that fucking guy's got a nasty streak, and he'll
mhm.
fucking kill you. And then the new guy, the goon who didn't say much in the press box when in the announcer box for the
Stanley, oh,
Tampa
he
game.
dropped the gloves for
Yeah,
that
he
one.
killed like 2 people tonight, and like I think it was Samuelson said on GR like he's waiting for the Tampa game,
Yeah, he said he's got
and
his circled.
yeah, and Carrick is like a good like I mean those physical guys like yes they're boring and like they're like those are the guys who get you like 8 to 10 goals a year. Those are the guys you want in the playoffs because that's when everything gets the intensity is. You want the guy that can win faceoffs. You want the guy that can hit. You want those type of rugged like those types of guys, and that's the thing. This team has balance. They got guys that can hit. They got guys that can score. They got guys who can do both.
Yeah.
And I think I'm an amazing hockey analysis guy.
You're getting
Just
better.
I'm good because now I care. I care now. Look, I always liked the Sabres. I blogged about it. I used to do a podcast about them, and then like I just got sick of it. I couldn't get into it anymore, and I was just like, I'm done. Like I said, call me when you're good. And now that they're good, I'm on the bandwagon. But I think I have scar tissue from being a fan since the '80s, and I just was like, yeah, wake me up when they're good. And now I'm happy. They look great. I'm excited about them. I look forward to talking about hockey with you. I know you don't because you want to get all the other hockey bros on here. You want Harrington on. You want Dracula Fairburn, and you want all those guys. You rather talk to them instead of me, and I get that because you love the smell of their farts. But I think like it's just I just can't wait. I cannot wait until they get in the playoffs, and it's going to be great. And I don't want to talk about the Bills ever again. No, I'm just kidding. I do want to talk about the Bills, but like I'm into that. I get it. Like, the hockey team, like you and I, like we've talked about this. Like, would we rather have a basketball team? Sure. Would we rather have like a wrestle? Would we rather have Lex Luger being in his prime, being like, I'm from Buffalo and I'm gonna put you in the torture rack? Sure, probably, maybe. But when the Sabres are really great, it's awesome and it's
It
fun and
is.
you're totally into it. And I'm into it right now, baby.
I know, I
Anyway.
could tell because I've been debating for the last 45 seconds. I'm like, do I want to cut Joe off? Or do I just want to let him ramble on for the next 20
I'll
more
cut
minutes?
those are astute points that you should clip on Twitter tomorrow, and then you get 1,000 likes, and like
Leanne,
it's gonna scoop.
Leanne King in the live chat. I
Oh,
see
we
this
got
comment a
ladies in
lot
that live
recently.
chat. About time,
RJ be having the
Jesus.
time of his life calling this game. I
Yeah,
agree with that. Mike Carliso says Sabres will win the cup and Pat will be worried about if Bean will be signing
All right.
Damar Hamlin. That is
Carlista, you can make fun of my bags under my eyes now because that was a good one.
and
Good job, buddy.
Zuzu still wants to let everybody know almost an hour and a half into the show that Brandon Beane is still a clown. Last thing I'll say about the Sabres, though, for real, like Jack Quinn is one of those guys that like a lot of people wanted to see him get traded. You know, one of those guys as good as they're playing, kind of like on the outs, but then he steps up and he has a hat trick tonight. I'm looking at the standings. By the way, they're 4 points now as we record this ahead of Tampa. 2 games in hand, though, for Tampa. But still, now they're 4 points out in front, and they are 10 points clear of a wild card spot. This team's making the playoffs.
Who's in first in the conference? Is it Carolina?
Carolina, but
oh my God.
only by 2 points. I can't fucking see, dude. I'm half blind. I'm trying to look at a small screen right now.
Can you imagine in the playoffs we get Carolina at some point? Like that.
We're only 2 points behind Carolina right now for the top seed in the.
But I'm just saying. Let's just. I've said this before. I'm not gonna. I'm still puzzled by the format. But if they meet in the playoffs, like that is gonna be a nostalgia fucking war. And you know what I was thinking? I thought about this the other day. Can you imagine if like game 1 or game 3 is in Carolina and they decide to honor like the 2006 Carolina Panthers like Stanley Cup team and Kevin Adams walks out and he goes, "Hey, like how you guys doing? Like fuck you." And that would be
if you could play any team. If you could play any team in the conference in the first round for listen, not talking about the roster currently or if the Sabres can win or not, just like maybe nostalgic purposes or just, it would be really cool. Montreal, they're a candidate. Detroit, definitely a candidate. Or Boston. It feels like it's going to be probably, or maybe Columbus would be whack. Detroit, Boston, or Montreal. Would you like to see Buffalo play one of those? I'd love any of them, man. They would bring me back.
Nostalgia-wise, Boston used to be a bigger Adams division, like the early, like the early 90s, 80s. There's that nostalgia. Montreal would kind of worry me because like you have that crowd there. They'll
sell their mother to get tickets to go to a Montreal Canadian fan will sell their mother's organs to get tickets to go to a Buffalo playoff game.
I agree with that. Then Detroit would be different. Obviously, you got the two. At one point, like this is 10 years ago, like or 12 years ago, like Detroit and Buffalo were like the hockey towns of America. Then the Sabres went into the tank. And Detroit hasn't been good either, but obviously Detroit has like 50 billion cups and all that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. That would be fine, I guess. But nostalgia-wise, like Montreal would be fun, but it would be a nightmare because you already know those assholes would come over the border and go to those games. And even though the Sabres would be hot, they would somehow
they'll like pay.
You just said it. They would sell their fucking
somebody
mother.
Will get their season ticket money back. Half the season tickets they'd get back in 1 or 2 games just by selling them.
That would be very annoying to see the sea of red because then we would be debating online like, why aren't people showing up? What's going on? Can Trump declare war on Canada so they can't come over the border? Like any of that sort of shit. Like that would be annoying. So give me Boston, Adams division. Boston. I feel like Boston like fans are spoiled and they're gonna be like, Boston's always good, kind of. There's a good expat group there of Buffalonians. I don't think there's any Buffalonians in Montreal. I'm like 5. I'm trying to think. I'm like 6 hours away from Montreal driving and like 3 hours away from Boston. I could go there. We could do a live podcast for me in the 300s and I'll be drunk and my wife would be like, why are we here? It'd be great.
Last thing. If we would add this conversation, if this would be the Talking Buffalo Happy New Year 2026 episode, and I said, man, the Sabres are going to break the drought. They're going to get in the playoffs. First of all, you'd think we were nuts, but then I'd be like, yeah, they're going to lose in the first round. They're even going to get swept in the first round. Would you sign up for that, man? You would sprint sign up to that. Is this team so good now that if they make they're going to go to the playoffs, whether they win the division or whether they're second or third or whether they're a wild card, whatever it may be, whoever they play, and they have a first round exit. Let's say they lose. I didn't even know. I'd ask Joe Yurden to make sure. They're 7-game series.
Stealing Yurden takes again. Go ahead.
No, they're 7-game series, all of them, even the first round. Let's say the Sabres lose 4-1. to Detroit or Boston, Tampa, whoever it may be, how disappointed would you be in the team? I'm moving the goalposts, I guess, when it comes to the Sabres here by asking you
Okay,
that.
if they lost in the first round, would I be disappointed? Yeah, but I would also be happy that they got out of the ground and the drought, and it would be a fun season, and like do it again next year. That would be it. It's house money. That's where we're at. It's house fucking money. That's how I would look
Sure.
at it.
It's not like the 2017 Bills, right? Like when you played Jacksonville, I never thought the Bills could go to the Super Bowl in 2017. I was just so fucking thrilled that they were in a playoff game. I woke up, I said, I'm just going to savor the moment. Even if they lose, I'm not even going to be disappointed. That's how I felt about the Bills in 2017. This Sabres team is very capable of beating anyone in a series. So I think I would be more disappointed now than I would have been, say, a month ago because I believe in this team.
No, I mean that's fair. I get that. Like we thought a month ago, oh, they'll be like a 6-7 seed, and now we're like, holy shit, like they got a chance to like have home ice for a while, all that sort of stuff. I get that.
You got anything else before we bounce? Huh?
No, it's look. I hope everyone reads my Substack. I dropped the piece on Monday. It was very long. I had a lot of stuff.
It was good. There. It was a good piece. I told you this. I hate giving you credit, but it was really good. Joe had a really interesting story in there about your son.
Yeah,
taking him to soccer, kind of not comparing it, tying in your dad to it. Interesting story about you and your dad kind of transforming to you and your son. A combination of like some seriousness, but also some funny shit, like Andy trying to run out.
Yeah,
there's a lot of interesting stuff there in that story alone. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to put it out there. It was good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, there was that. I talked about Connor McGovern. I talked about media crime. I talked about
that's right,
Sabres.
You did.
I did. I talked about
Tim Graham.
Yeah, I talked about that. And then my dad's shots were just all over the board. I mean, my goal is to drop a piece every Monday, but if I'm not in the mood to write, I'm not going to write it. And I think of myself as a little bit like I'm trying to be a little bit like Peter King's Monday morning quarterback, when it's like I'm going to give you 3-4 main things, and then there's a bunch of shit that has nothing to probably do with the sports, or I'm going to talk everything like TV shows, whatever, all that sort of rigmarole. So, but yeah, I'm really, and I have to give you some credit because I hate you too, but you've been bugging me for like the last 2 years to like get back into writing. And I'm like,
I've been telling, dude.
Okay, relax. I'm going to give you credit. Okay, get
your ball in me.
No, I'm just going to give you. I'm going to put you over. That's all it is. Putting you over. No ball. But like you told me that, and that's a big part of like what made me decide to like go back into it. And it's been fun. And I used to do it for like 6-7 years, and I stopped a decade ago. And I look at it as like, when I used to be a blogger, I always would try to just, not to go too long on this, but I would always write about, put myself into stories, but made myself vulnerable, and like really put like myself into like situations where I wasn't trying to be arrogant or like, look at how cool I am. Like I'm at soccer with Andy and he's Mo Salah over here. No, it's like, this is like real life shit, dealing with it, but also telling you about sports and stuff like that. And I'm a different person than if you follow me at Buffalo Wins back in the day, and I know like you think it's dead and no one does, and that's possible. But I was a 36-year-old when I finished up. I was 34. I was single and I was a drunk, and now I'm 46. I'm a dad. I'm married. I'm
drinking cheap beer from Wegmans.
Cheap with deer from Wegmans. I think I'm a better storyteller than I used to be. So it's kind of to see myself how it works. So
your blog is a blog in every sense of the word, and I mean that complimentary. Yeah. So many people out there now have blogs, or they blog about a team, and they forget what they're doing and what makes them unique and what makes people want to read, and they try to turn into Jay Skursky or somebody who covers the team, and it just becomes yet another redundant style of covering a team. You're not a professional, but You write opinions and tell stories, which is interesting. And for people listening, by the way, who don't see it on the screen, one more time, it's www.joefromqueens.substack.com. It's free. Substack's free. You sign up, you put your email in, and it's free. And if at some point you want to pledge support down the road, if it becomes something you charge, and you cross that bridge. But for people to sign up and read it, now it's free. So everybody can check
and
it.
please, you can rip it apart. I don't give a shit. Like I'm having fun doing it, and that's primarily why I did BuffaloWins.net back in the day, because I was having fun writing it, and that's all I want to do is have fun. And I'm not looking for. I mean, money would be great at some point, but like I'm in it, and I think there is a market. Like I'll be a little business savvy here. I think there's a market for it, because I think everyone has gone to podcasts or Twitter. I have no idea if Cover One even writes stuff. I think they just do podcasts and videos. I could be wrong on that. And like everyone's doing a podcast. That's fine. I'm not saying that's bullshit, but it's changed. And then you have paywalls with The Athletic and the Buffalo News. So I think there's a space that I can fill in for that.
I agree.
So
I agree.
hey,
I agree. All right,
talk shit about Pat in written form too, by the way. So
all right, let's put a bow on that. Like I said, everyone go give that a whirl. Tomorrow's show, I don't know. It might be taped really early before things happen. It might be taped really late. I don't want to do it late at night because I'm going to be in Florida getting settled in. Again, I'm kind of on an adventure of sorts.
You're going to be hammered, you fucking idiot.
I don't know.
You're going to be drinking hot chocolate under the fucking monsoon.
I won't be drinking hot chocolate because it's going to be hot as balls in Florida, and I cannot wait. I am so there for that. But I'll kind of explain why I'm down there throughout the week. Just a few reasons. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Anyone, just continue to follow like you always do, man. Thank you, everyone in the live on the video side. Well over 1,300 today. Thanks, of course, to Joe from Queens, and thank you all for watching, for listening. Again, I don't know when, but there will be another episode dropping for you tomorrow.